One of the key things to keep in mind if you are going to be designing and leading or facilitating brainstorming sessions is something that I call the power of three. This is something to keep in mind. And what do I mean by that? Well, most people think a brainstorming session is all about ideas, what happens in the room. That's partly true, but it's not totally true. A really good, robust brainstorming session has three elements to it. What happens before people get in the room, what happens in the room, and what happens after the session is over. Before the session, there's the preparation. There's the hoeing the ground. There's the tilling the soil. There's the priming the pump, getting people ready, getting yourself ready. Or what Sun Tzu, the Chinese military strategist, once said, every battle is won or lost before it's fought. Or what Albert Einstein said when he was asked about his process, he said if he had an hour to solve a problem, he'd spend the first 60 minutes, the first 55 of those 60 minutes, thinking about the problem and the last 5 minutes solving it. Translation, pay attention to what happens before the brainstorming session. Get your head together, get the room together, get the people together. Then there's the session itself, of course, and in the session itself, there are actually three parts. The power of three applies to every session. That is the beginning of the session, how you launch it, how you start things, the beginning game, the mid game, the bulk of the session, and the end game, how you end the session or the convergent part of the session. So the power of three applies to every session itself. And then the third aspect of it is what happens after the brainstorming session, where most brainstorming sessions fall apart, there's no follow-through. So a really good brainstorm facilitator is thinking about the end game. What happens after people leave the room? Who's doing what? How will ideas be collected? How will they be evaluated? How will they be selected? Who's going to do that? Will there be any kind of report or summary of the material, and to whom? Who needs to be involved? Are there other stakeholders not in the room that need to be a part of that process? This is called the power of three. And if you remember this, your sessions will increase in the quality and effectiveness big time.